Yeah. MD, JPB, it's only right, baby.
Yeah, why you mad? I got a bad bro. Name hot in these streets, no Tabasco. But I'm so stuck, that's a fact, yo. And if you think I'm frontin', you can run it back, yo. Or run it back.
You know that I run it. Everything you wanna do, I already done it. And I got your little boo telling me she love me. I got this one, that one. Damn, it's gonna be a long night.
Hello guys, what is up? Prince of What Ifs here with another part to What If Naruto Had Jogo's Powers, Part 6, Ambush. For anyone new, feel free to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos. Also, if you're watching my videos, please subscribe. Don't just leave because some of y'all ain't subscribed, just to let y'all know. And as usual, go check out the second channel. I haven't posted there in a while because I'm getting used to the new schedule. I thought it would actually be really easy to focus on 2 different channels. It's not. So my bad, but I will do better next time. It's just hard to focus on the other series because I don't even know how to end it, but I know it's gonna end very fast because I made Naruto in that world, believe it or not, even more OP than the person that, well, than the Naruto in this universe, which is ridiculous to say. But yeah, I apologize for that for those of you who are waiting for me to post. But also check out Dark King stuff because it's pretty awesome, and we're also collaborating on it, you know. So you get a bit of his stuff on his videos now, and a bit of mine because I'm scripting and he's putting his ideas in there. He doesn't really know how to like script yet, and he also doesn't really like to. So I usually take care of that. So that's why. And it's also taking a bit of a time for me to get used to scripting for myself, and when he asked me to script for him, so that's why I'm a little bit unbalanced. But I will get used to it like I always do. And go check out our Discord as well. I'll put all that in the description. For the channel though, I'll just put it up like in the corner about now. And go check out the playlist for this series. And with all that done, let's get right into it. Let's recap. We started with Naruto helping Tsunade heal more leftover hurt people during the attack of Orochimaru, where he discloses the power behind his reverse curse technique. Tsunade barely gets it as Naruto had even dumbed it down for her, but she is impressed. Later, while he is simply training after talking to Hyuga about some stuff because they had some issues to work out, he ends up fighting while sparring Sasuke. Sasuke loses despite showing he had gained the 3 Tomari Sharingan, and seeing Sasuke so broken, Naruto decides to reveal the truth about Itachi being in the leaf and being held captive. With Hyuga, Sasuke goes all the way to his cell to talk to Itachi, and Naruto would also be there, and Naruto puts him in the domain so they can talk. In his quest to get answers, however, Itachi puts him in a genjutsu, and after waking up, he knows everything. However, he woke up to Sakura of all people, who he promptly told to leave, and as she did, on her way, she met Naruto and Hinata, with Naruto telling her why Sasuke doesn't even give her the time of day or acknowledgement, which, while harsh, makes her more committed to get stronger, even if her reason for doing so is really stupid. Then Sasuke tells his friends about the truth and has Naruto heal his eyes, giving him the Eternal Mangekyo, which shook the village a bit, but Sasuke had to wait to put his true plans into action because Tsunade, as the new Kage, had to be solidified into her position. During this, however, Hinata challenges Hiyashi to a fight where, during the fight, she unlocks the Tenseigan, albeit a weaker version of Toneri's in the movie, but she is strong, and she grows, and that little power is going to dictate how the story goes on a bit from now on. Hinata becomes the clan leader, and after this is when Sasuke calls a meeting with the council, and reveals Danzo's disgusting arm filled with Sharingan. Naruto traps him, and he is later killed, while Sasuke is supported by Hinata and Naruto, because it's pretty traumatic. But even after all of that, the issue of what to do with Itachi still stood, and they hadn't figured out what to do with him yet. Putting that off for now, however, Tsunade was about to go to the Kage Summit and wanted Naruto to come with her, along with Sasuke, because a war with the Akatsuki might be starting. We begin with Hinata facing the clan that was now under her rule. She would sit back and speak. From now on, there is no branch clan. I see no need for it. This news would surprise them and make the branch family happy, only for someone from the main branches to retort to this. And he would ask, why should we have to be treated the same as the branch members? And Hinata then looks at this man with a piercing glare, activating her Tenseigan, making him shut up. And she says, I know every last one of you. Your way of talking and fighting. Never once have I seen you do anything. So why are you so much more deserving of special treatment? Tell me. This silences everyone as Hinata then says, I'll establish a new system and ask for your concerns of your positions. If you want a role, then work for it. It's simple. You want to prove you're the best? Train. Duel. Go on missions. Do You maybe perhaps want to work for the Anbu? Go ahead. Quite literally, nothing is stopping you but you. Understood? They then say yes, as Hinata then says good, because this also calls for much celebration. Today, you can do as you please, but stay on guard. Yakatsuki is on the move. Neji, however, then raises his hand, saying, if there is no main branch, then what of the main family? Actually, yeah, what about them? People will be saying, as Hinata would then ask, do you want to get rid of the main family? The very idea of this shocks all of them, as the main family has been the pillar of the clan, but Neji thinks logically and says no. I simply wanted to know how we would keep balance. Hinata then smiles at this, saying, well, the main family stays the main family, but we just don't treat others as second-class humans. Some traditions must be upheld. Changing things does not mean destroying the entire system we've been working with. Then what about an heir? Hanabi would ask, and this question stunts Hinata, who turns to Hanabi, who will be cackling, making Hinata realize what she meant, and for the first time in years, her face goes red. It's Naruto, isn't it? They would all think, and they would also think she's adorable, and everyone is aware of Naruto and Hinata being close, and it's kind of hard not to notice since they're always together and getting all close. And Hinata then loses her embarrassed face and gets stern. This talk will be adjourned. They then all say yes and start to leave, with Neji then turning back and seeing a slightly blushing Hinata, and you would think, at least that part of you hasn't changed. He then leaves with Hinata, Hiyashi, and Hanabi being left there in the room, with Hinata then yelling at Hanabi, asking why she would do that. That's gonna make me lose face, Hinata would yell, and Hanabi would say, I don't think that's gonna matter. If they try anything, I'm sure Naruto will take care of them. You're such a conniving little brat, Hinata would say, and as the two start to mess about, Hiyashi cannot help but smile. Meanwhile, Naruto, Sasuke, and Tsunade are already heading to the Land of Iron, and they're basically there already, and as they walk through the snow, Naruto then yells, whose idea was it to put the freaking summit place in a fucking snowstorm, huh? You're saying like it was made to piss you off, Tsunade would say, and Naruto would say, well, whether it is or it's not, it's working. Just as he says this, they would then hear the crunching of snow and turn to see the right Kage and his men appear. Tsunade, it would say surprised, and Tsunade would say, nice to meet you again. He then looks to Naruto, being shocked at the resemblance he shared with his father. The hell do you want? Naruto would ask, and Sasuke then bumps him with his elbow, telling him to calm down. Ace smiles at this attitude, however, before then bursting into laughter. Kids are getting more arrogant these days, huh? Confidence, not arrogance, you little shit. Sia and Dari are left baffled by his way of talking, as the two then start a stare down. Naruto and A start a stare down, and A would think, he ain't normal, is he? Tsunade would then say, come on, can we move on? Naruto, stop it. Sasuke and Tsunade then move on, with Naruto disappearing in the blink of an eye, and A is left shocked as he turns to see Naruto is already back with his group. I didn't even see him move, Dari would say. Could he be that person's son? C would ask, and A then laughs, saying that things are going to get interesting, and as he says this, he says to follow him, and so his attendants follow Naruto's team. Why the hell is that guy looking at me? Naruto would think. Kurama then speaks in his mind. You could consider Minato and him rivals. As the group starts to run towards the summit, Naruto would then think, I thought you didn't want to talk. I got bored. But you get the point. He never beat your father, so it's to be expected that he'd be surprised to see, well, a face like yours. There's so much of my dad around. What about my mom? He would think. Grandma would then say, you can consider me a part of her history. After all, she was my Jinchuriki. Hearing this didn't surprise Naruto, but he didn't know about it, and it is crazy how much he and his parents are connected in ways that he didn't even realize. Eventually, they make it to the summit place and meet the leader of the samurai, Mifune, who is there first, as his samurai are guarding the place. Take a seat, Mifune would say. The Kage then take their seat, laying down their hats aside just as Mei would then walk in. Ah, I'm not the first. Chojuro and Ao walk in behind, with Sasuke then thinking, a Byakugan. He's lucky Hinata isn't here. He says this because now he has such incredible senses that he can just tell Ao must have taken a Byakugan during a war or something. Mei then looks around, seeing the stern Kage, and then she particularly ends up fixating on Naruto and Sasuke. Not only because she could tell Sasuke was an Uchiha, and Naruto was the Ashura of the Hidden Leaf, who had magma released much like herself, but also because they just looked dope. Mei would then go and sit down with Ao and Chojuro coming up behind her, and she would say, so, I heard the Sam might not make it. We only discovered it recently, but their Kage was killed by Orochimaru, Tsunade would say. This news comes as a bit of a surprise, but it is Orochimaru, so it's not that surprising, but it is still like, just out of nowhere. And he's the one who killed Orochimaru, yes? Mei would ask. She then looks to Naruto, who looks back at her with a piercing glare. Got a problem with that? As if by instinct, everyone's hair stand on end just from the sheer power of Naruto's will. Instantly, Naruto would then have the sword of Chojuro at his face. Meanwhile, the rest of the attendants get ready for battle, feeling shaken by Naruto's unbelievable bloodlust. I drew my sword before I even realized. Who is this child, Mifune would think. See what you did, Sasuke would say, a bit angered. Although they want to fight him, however, the attendants, they just cannot move. Their bodies are not letting them. Chojuro, get back here, May would yell. Chojuro then says, but that way of speaking. And yeah, what are you gonna do about it? Naruto would say. Chojuro, as he hears his voice the second time, then jumps away, getting goosebumps as he thinks, how the hell does he do that? A would then say to stop. It's just a little bloodlust. If he wanted a fight, he would have asked for one. That is how you do things, isn't it? The other attendants then hang back, just as Ao then says to Tsunade that she has brought quite an arrogant child to the meeting. You're not much different, old man, Sasuke would say, and Ao then stares daggers at Sasuke, who does the same, and Mifune then says to stop all of this, and they do, with Naruto saying, Wusses, I was speaking normally too. Maybe I shouldn't have brought them, Tsunade would think. This little moment causes Naruto to only get the Kage more interested in him, and soon the Tsuchikage arrives, concluding the conditions for the beginning of the meeting. Alright, let's begin, shall we, Mifune would say. Why have you called for this meeting, Hokage? Tsunade would then say, though some of you may not know, our Jinchuriki has already been attacked by 4 Akatsuki members, and I figure maybe you had the same problem. I cannot lie, Mei would say. Ours is already gone. Her attendants are shocked that she revealed this so easily, but Mei says that she has to. We cannot be concerned about power and hierarchy right now. Surely this isn't a problem that we won't stop unless we take care of the source together. The Tsuchikage is annoyed, however, saying, I can't believe you called me over here for such a thing. How can you easily throw away your honor? It's embarrassing. Sunday would then say, who cares? We don't know a thing. Doesn't it frighten you to wonder why they're targeting and gathering tail beasts? Their end goal? The Tsuchikage then strokes his beard, saying, fine, something else to consider. And what do you want us to do about it? Tsunade then proposes an alliance, which Mei and A actually quickly agree to, but the Tsuchikage does not. I'm surprised you're going along with this, right, Kage? Onoki would say. Onoki is the Tsuchikage, by the way, for those of you who don't know. A would then say, I have a little brother. He's a Jinchuriki as well. He's reckless. The choice for me is obvious, but I do not trust you, Mizukage. The Mizukage then says she understands, since her village doesn't exactly have the cleanest record and slate. Rumors are the Akatsuki was formed on your territory. Is that true? The Tsuchikage would ask, with a smirk, and Mei nervously sweat, saying that there were chances of her predecessor being controlled by the Akatsuki. So while the rumors may be true, it was not completely wrong either, but it doesn't mean that her village was evil or something. This is such a mess, Sasuke would think. No wonder Itachi acted as he had done. They're like children obsessed with power and useless things. Out of nowhere, however, in the middle of the room bursts out Zetsu. Hello, he would say, as a grotesque creature seemingly made out of plants or something alike to that had arrived. Everyone gets on guard, with A saying that it seems to be the Akatsuki that might have gotten here, and instantly A moves and grabs Zetsu by the neck to a shock because A is so fast. Where the hell are your allies? A would ask, and the Zetsu then laughs as A's hand would then bulge with some sort of white matter. And the same thing starts to grow on the desk and all around. A then rips off the Zetsu's head before bursting his hand with lightning and disintegrating just everything on it. Tsunade, however, says, they won't stop growing. That's because he's not dead. Everyone then looks up to see a man with an orange swirling mask on him, as A would then ask if he was the leader of the Akatsuki. Toby then takes off his mask as he then poofs, and as the smoke clears, it reveals someone that made the Tsuchikage freeze up. It can't be, A would say, as Madara's eyes then swirl, becoming the Rinnegan. So you're Naruto Uzumaki. The true Madara had arrived. He then lands and turns to Naruto, Tsunade, and Sasuke, noticing the irony of the situation. An Uchiha, a Senju, and an Uzumaki all together. Broken, but together, Madara would think. The other Kage wants to attack, but not only is this definitely Madara, but he had just gained a Rinnegan, so they don't know what the hell they should actually do. Naruto and Sasuke then smile, asking, can we begin? Tsunade then smiles nervously, saying, you're gonna do it anyway, aren't you? In an instant, Sasuke and Madara then switch places to the shock of everyone, just as Naruto slams a punch into Madara's face, or releasing a violent purple flame that blasts him past the walls of the meeting room. They switch places, Mei would say, as Naruto then jumps through the hole that he made and he starts falling down, just as Madara, who landed, smiles, pulling him over while holding his hand out. Incredible! Show me more! As he says this, Naruto reaches him and he goes to kick him, only for Naruto to catch his foot with ease and squeeze it, blowing it up with purple flames. Then Sasuke appears right behind Madara. Kanyoriki. He bursts with chakra that ripples out, and Madara realizes he cannot move, just as Sasuke jams a Raikiri into his chest. Naruto then jumps back with Sasuke jumping over as well, and Naruto would say, you copied it. Kind of, Sasuke would say, and they then see Madara, who should have died from this attack, reform to their shock. Madara would then think, simple domain? Never heard of such a thing. Madara! He would hear, and they would all hear, as from above, comes an attack from A, who is in his lightning cloak, and he slams down on Madara with a lariat, causing a massive explosion that releases a huge dust cloud. The Tsuchikage from above then prepares to blow away the dust when he sees Madara being sent flying towards him, and he freezes up and notices something. He's riddled with holes, he would think. Above Madara and in front of the Tsuchikage then appears Naruto with a sadistic smile. Explode, he would say, as he then waves towards Madara, who bursts with fire to his shot, just as Sasuke flies past him, cutting off his head with the Susanoo sword. Stop stealing all the glory, Sasuke would say, and at this point Madara will be stunted. If I wasn't a reanimation, I would be dead already. Impossible. Impossible! As he yells this, however, Naruto comes in and slams down the punch into his face, sending him flying down and blowing away the dust and carrying Madara into the ground. Meanwhile, inside the meeting room, the others are being attacked by multiple clones of Zetsu. Mifune, however, keeps cutting through them, as do the other attendants, and he would say, I and the others will handle this. You can go. Mei and Tsunade then nod before then running and jumping out, as when they land, they ask where Madara is, only to be shocked when they see him laid out practically on death's door. There's no way he's Madara, Mei would say. A agrees, but the Tsuchikage then says that it is definitely not the case. It seems that he's simply not as powerful as these two. He then turns to see a flying Sasuke who is using his Susanoo wings to fly while holding Naruto. You can let go now, Naruto would say. Sasuke then says okay and lets Naruto go, and he lands down saying, all you bastards, do something, don't just stand there. He then points to a wall and releases a torrent of purple flames that melt through the wall, and he says to go look outside because something is coming. Being given orders by a child, A would say. You should have been stronger, Naruto would yell. A then goes out in anger, and as he does, he finds something horrifying. From above, as a giant meteor is about to crash, it casts a huge shadow over the entire summit place. He's gonna flatten us, A would think. As everyone hears this, Madara then uses their confusion to attack all the other Kage simultaneously at just insane speed. Tsunade is stabbed through the stomach by a wooden spike. Then Madara appears behind Mei and snaps her neck before then appearing right in front of the Tsuchikage, who he then kicks into a wall. I guess even they can't. Madara, however, is then stunted to see the boys were looking at him the entire time. Naruto then says something inaudible to Madara, and he expects some weird jutsu to attack him again, but Sasuke attacks from behind in the blink of an eye. Madara blocks his Susanoo blade with a kick, and as they land, they start going at it. Naruto then runs past Tsunade saying that he'll heal Mei, and he squats down and taps her neck as he reaches her, and then she bursts with cursed energy, which catches Madara off guard, allowing Sasuke to use a simple domain that sticks him in place, and his entire shoulder is blown away by Sasuke's sword. Just what are these jutsu? Madara would think. Mei's eyes then gain life as he then just sits up and she turns to see a mad Naruto. Scary, she would say, as Naruto would then say, so what? Naruto then stands asking Tsunade if she was okay, and Tsunade cuts off the branch that was sticking in her stomach and rips it out. She then grows a mark on her entire body, which starts to heal her. I've been better. Sasuke at this point is then sent flying to Naruto, who catches him before then holding his hand out. Emperor insects. Madara then explodes, and as this happens, everyone notices his presence had vanished. The explosion clears to show that he is no longer there. Damn it, he got me, Sasuke would say, and Naruto, while seeing Sasuke, while holding him, can see that he's messed up and starts to heal him with reverse curse energy, and this makes him regenerate. Meanwhile, Mei goes to get the Tsuchikage, who was out cold from Madara's attack, and Mei realizes that she almost died. That healing jutsu is incredible, Mei would think. In this moment, they didn't all hear A, who then tells them to come outside, and so they rush out through while stepping through the hole, and this is when they are stepping into a huge shadow, and as they look up, an impending meteor is just like coming for them. It's an impending meteor. How the hell do we stop that? Mei would say. Wait, where's Naruto? Sasuke then points up with a relaxed face. He's up there. They then all look up to see Naruto atop the building, and Naruto would then stare down this huge opponent. You should have done much more. Meanwhile, miles away, Obito would appear with Madara at his side from the Kamui dimension, and they land atop a tree. What is that child? Madara would ask. Obito would say he's a pest, that's what he is. But I didn't expect Sasuke to have an eternal Mangekyo. Madara then smiles, saying, well, let's see what he'll do against that. Back at the summit place, Naruto claps his hands together and concentrates. Kurama then asks, do you need my help? As if, Naruto would yell, Yoiki Tenkai. Taking his usual barrier technique, he folds and changes and just morphs it, and from above a giant sphere forms, going down and covering the entire summit place to the shock of everyone watching. The Tsuchikage wakes up at this moment, walking out, and he is wide-eyed to see all of this. So much chakra. At that very moment, the meteor then strikes, causing everything to shake as cracks start to form in the barrier, and Naruto senses another meteor coming already. Alright then, I'll harden it. He then claps his hands together and the cracks start to form, but the meteor already strikes, forcing them to open again. Just take it, Kurama would say. As Kurama then says this, Naruto enters Biju mode. Just how bored are you today? Naruto would yell as the pressure from Naruto's transformation hits everyone in the building and outside as the barrier not only reforms, but it easily tanks the next meteor. I wanted to do that, you bastard, Sasuke would say, and Naruto then jumps down, and as he's starting to fall, he yells, well, too bad. He then slams down while in Biju mode. You can get him next time. Well, if you can. Naruto then exits Biju mode saying, I can't sense him anymore. Little wuss. Tsunade would then say, I can't believe even Madara can't beat you. Sasuke, not bad. Sasuke then says he tried his best, and A then asks Sasuke if he has what he thinks he has, and Sasuke shows his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan to the shock of all the Hokage. Impossible, Onoki would yell. How could you have such a thing? This is when the barrier would crack and disappear, letting the cold air move in, and Naruto would say, alright then, back to the meeting. He then walks and enters the building as Sasuke follows. You think he's declaring a war? How would I know? You're the smart one, you tell me, Naruto would say. It was a warning, Sasuke would say. Then it's a warning, Naruto would say. Now as they enter the building, the Hokage then look at each other with Mei saying, so we do have a chance. They would then say, what the hell is up with that brat? What the hell was that barrier? Who's that Uchiha? Why don't you come and fight me and find out about it? Naruto would yell from inside, and Sasuke would then say, chill out, while holding him back, and Tsuchikage would then say, those brats did far more than I did. That is my fault. But how could he have those eyes? Let's go back in, Tsunade would say. I'll let you know. So they go back and talk despite the fight that just happened, and Mifune discloses all the Zetsus were saying that there is a war that is about to start, so they agreed to have to do an alliance, and the Lee promised to make the Sand join them, but it will take some convincing, and they will have to wait until the Sand picks out a new Kage, my bad. And Tsunade explains, well, Tsunade actually doesn't explain anything, she lets Naruto explain his own reverse curse technique, and as he is allowed to, an annoyed Naruto would then lift up his hand, and he bursts with cursed energy. His chakra, it changed just like back then, A would say. This is cursed energy, Naruto would say. It's all formed from my negative emotions. It's all me, literally. And I thought if I could do this much with negative energy, then what could I do with positive ones? So I stacked it on top of the negative cursed energy, and it became this. His cursed energy then gains a bit of a tint of green instead of purple, and it then goes out as he lowers his hand. I swear it's not that hard. Are you stupid or something? Watch your mouth, Tsunade would say. Make me. Damn it. Anyway, you get the point, Tsunade would yell. This little brat fought Madara and made him run? Just what the hell did those two create, the Tsuchikage would think, referring to, of course, Minato and Kushina, who enter his mind, and he sighs thinking he cannot deny that Naruto deserves some form of massive ass respect. Then this is the end of the talk, Mifune would say, or does anyone have anything else to add? He then looks around and the Kage say no words, so Mifune declares the meeting done. So everyone starts to head off, and as a hidden leaf leaves, we change perspective to Madara in his hideout. He walks out with Obito, Kakuzu, and Hidan following behind. I think he was still really alive, Kakuzu would think. Even the usual loud Hidan does not dare yell or act and do his theatrics in the presence of Madara, and despite his abilities, he knows that if Madara is here, he will die. It does not matter. What beast do you have? Madara would ask, and Obito says all the others except for the 8 tails, the 1 tails, and the 9 tails. Good enough, Madara would say, as he then turns facing them and he says, as much as I would love to fight, right now, Sasuke and Naruto have shown to be troublesome. Even he's scared of that kid, Kakuzu would think. As he thinks this, Madara then stares at him, making Kakuzu freeze up, but then he turns and faces Obito. We need time. How much? Obito would ask, and Madara says at least a year. I have an idea. Timeskip, 1 year and 30 days. Itachi is now released from the domain and simply has his eyes sealed while he stays in a room filled with scrolls, keeping him docile. It's quiet and pretty dark, but then he, much like every morning, hears the door creak and he feels the light hit his skin. Is it time for breakfast already? Itachi would ask, and now older Sasuke, having a blade at his side, would say, You've gotten way too comfortable with this, brother. Itachi only smiles at this, and Sasuke says he won't be eating here today. He then reaches for Itachi's seal and rips it off, making him wince in pain as he had not seen the light of, well, anything in a year. However, his blurred eyes stay blurred. It's gotten worse, he would think, as his condition of, well, using the Sharingan for a while had kind of worsened. Sasuke then grabs him by the hand and helps him up. Come on, let's get you fixed up. Why? What is happening? Madara's coming, Sasuke would say. We need all the help we can get. Madara? Itachi thinks. What will be Itachi's role during the upcoming war? How strong have the Leaf Ninja gotten? Will Madara even stand a chance? We'll find out in the next part. Well, you'll find out. I already know what's gonna happen. And that is the end of the 6th part. Alright, much like usual, I hope you enjoyed that. I know I enjoyed writing it. This was probably my most favorite twist of sorts, because I usually try to do different things with how villains attack, and Madara attacking the fucking Kage Summit is just like something that I love, so I did it. Truth be told, something happened with the docs, so my new improved script was gone, so I had to improvise, which pissed me off. I don't know where the good stuff went, but I mean, I managed somehow, so it's all good. I hope you enjoyed. Stay safe, all of that. Do your homework. As much as it sucks, we all got to. And that's about it. Yeah, bye guys. Take care of yourselves. And tell me down in the comments, how are you doing today? You know, because I want to know. Just tell me how you're doing, and I will tell you how I'm doing. We can just talk about it. And like and subscribe, all of that. Bye. Peace.